Okay, so it's important for us to ask ourselves this question is, if our goal is maximum physique development, optimal muscle development, these are the questions you have to ask yourself. What does a muscle need for that? It needs the proper, the precise direction of anatomical motion that muscle performs. It needs full range or mostly full range of motion. It needs a resistance curve that is either early phase loaded and gets lighter toward the end of the range of motion, or it needs a continuous tension. But what you don't want is an exercise that deprives the early part of the range of motion of significant resistance, because that's where the muscle is strongest and that's where it needs it most. The amount of load, obviously, that a muscle gets factors into how much it benefits. But as you'll soon see, sometimes you would be surprised to realize how little your target muscle is working despite you having to work so hard. And then the last thing here, number 5, is whether or not there's any neurological interference occurring. This is very not often talked about, and that is there are reciprocal innervation, active and passive insufficiency, and bilateral deficit. These are neurological things that occur sometimes during certain exercises that compromise the activation of the muscles you are trying to target. If you are unaware of that, then you are really missing an important part of maximizing your benefit from resistance exercise. You could be working really hard, as I will soon show you. You could be working really, really hard and then be surprised to discover that the muscles you are targeting, to some degree, are being deactivated because of something else that's happening at the same time. Dips are for the pecs. I would say, okay, let's look at it from, now what I want you to do is I want you to look at the distance between my hands in the down position and the distance between my hands in the up position, right? Same distance apart, okay? Here's the pectoral muscle. The origins are on the middle of the sternum. The insertion is out here. In order to bring the insertion towards the origins, you have to move from an outside angle inward, as you would when you're doing supine dumbbell presses, butterfly machine. These are the proper movements to do for the pecs, because the goal of any good resistance exercise is to move the insertion of the muscle toward the origin. It's what you do when you do triceps. It's what you do when you do curls. It's what you do when you do leg extensions. It's what you do when you do side raises, right? You may not know it, but you are bringing the insertion toward the origin, which shortens the muscle. It contracts the muscle. And the more precisely that you can mimic the movement that muscle produces, the better elongation and contraction you'll get of that muscle. You are not getting maximum contraction on your pectorals. If I said to you, let me see you flex your pecs, you're going to bring your hands together in the center of your body. You're not going to bring your hands straight down alongside your torso. That's not how you flex your pecs. If I say, let me see you stretch your pecs, you're going to bring your arms out. You're not going to bring your elbows back, right? This is not the right movement for pectorals. It's compromised, all right?